Borobudur, also transcribed Borobudur, is a 9th century Mahayana Buddhist temple in Magalang Regency, not far from the town of Muntilan, in central Java, Indonesia. It is the world's largest Buddhist temple. The temple consists of 9 stacked platforms, 6 square and 3 circular, topped by a central dome. It is decorated with 2,672 relief panels and originally 504 Buddha statues. The central dome is surrounded by 72 Buddha statues, each seated inside a perforated stupa. Built in the 9th century during the reign of the Sailendra dynasty, the temple design follows Javanese Buddhist architecture, which blends the Indonesian indigenous tradition of ancestor worship and the Buddhist concept of attaining nirvana. The temple demonstrates the influences of Gupta art that reflects India's influence on the region, yet there are enough indigenous scenes and elements incorporated to make Borobudur uniquely Indonesian. The monument is a shrine to the Buddha and a place for Buddhist pilgrimage. The pilgrim journey begins at the base of the monument and follows a path around the monument, ascending to the top through 3 levels symbolic of Buddhist cosmology: Kamadhatu, the world of desire; Rupadhatu, the world of forms; and Arupadhatu, the world of formlessness. The monument guides pilgrims through an extensive system of stairways and corridors with 1,460 narrative relief panels on the walls and the balustrades. Borobudur has one of the largest and most complete ensembles of Buddhist reliefs in the world. Evidence suggests that Borobudur was constructed in the 9th century and subsequently abandoned following the 14th century decline of Hindu kingdoms in Java and the Javanese conversion to Islam. Worldwide knowledge of its existence was sparked in 1814 by Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles, then the British ruler of Java, who was advised of its location by native Indonesians. Borobudur has since been preserved through several restorations. The largest restoration project was undertaken between 1975 and 1982 by the Indonesian government and UNESCO, followed by the monument's listing as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Borobudur is the largest Buddhist temple in the world, and ranks with Bagan in Myanmar and Angkor Wat in Cambodia as one of the great archaeological sites of Southeast Asia. Borobudur remains popular for pilgrimage, with Buddhists in Indonesia celebrating Vesak Day at the monument. Borobudur is Indonesia's single most visited tourist attraction. In Indonesian, ancient temples are referred to as candi, thus locals refer to Borobudur Temple as Candi Borobudur. The term candi also loosely describes ancient structures, for example gates and baths. The origins of the name Borobudur is derived from Boro for big and Budur for Buddha. The name Borobudur was first written in Raffles's book on Javan history. Raffles wrote about a monument called Borobudur, but there are no older documents suggesting the same name. The only old Javanese manuscript that hints the monument called Budur is a holy Buddhist sanctuary is Nagarakretagama, written by Mpu Prapanka, a Buddhist scholar of Majapahit court, in 1365. Most candi are named after a nearby village. If it followed Javanese language conventions and was named after the nearby village of Bor, the monument should have been named Budurboro. Raffles thought that Budur might correspond to the modern Javanese word Buddha, ancient, i.e., ancient Boro. He also suggested that the name might derive from Boro, meaning great, or honorable, and Budur for Buddha. However, another archaeologist suggests the second component of the name, Budur, comes from Javanese term Budara, mountain. Another possible etymology by Dutch archaeologist A. J. Burnett Kempers suggests that Borobudur is a corrupted simplified local Javanese pronunciation of Biara Bedahur written in Sanskrit as Vihara Buddha-ur. The term Buddha-ur could mean the city of Buddhas, while another possible term Bedahur is probably an old Javanese term, still survived today in Balinese vocabulary, which means a high place, constructed from the stem word duhur or luhur, high. This suggests that Borobudur means vihara of Buddha located on a high place or on a hill. The construction and inauguration of a sacred Buddhist building, possibly a reference to Borobudur, was mentioned in 2 inscriptions, both discovered in Kedu, Temanggung Regency. The Karangtengah inscription, dated 824, mentioned a sacred building named Jinalaya, the realm of those who have conquered worldly desire and reached enlightenment, inaugurated by Pramodawardhani, daughter of Samaratunga. The Tri Tepuzan inscription, dated 842, is mentioned in the Sima, the tax-free lands awarded by Kri Kahulunan Pramodawardhani to ensure the funding and maintenance of a Kamulan called Bumasambara. Kamulan is from the word mula, which means the place of origin, a sacred building to honor the ancestors, probably those of the Sailendras. Kasparas suggested that Bhumi Sambara Budara, which in Sanskrit means, the mountain of combined virtues of the 10 stages of bodhisattvahood, was the original name of Borobudur. Apart from the story of the Buddhist cosmology carved in stone, Borobudur has many statues of various Buddhas. The cross-legged statues are seated in a lotus position and distributed on the 5 square platforms, the Rupadhatu level, as well as on the top platform, the Arupadhatu level. The Buddha statues are in niches at the Rupadhatu level, arranged in rows on the outer sides of the balustrades, the number of statues decreasing as platforms progressively diminish to the upper level. The first balustrades have 104 niches, the second 104, the third 88, the fourth 72 and the fifth 64. In total, there are 432 Buddha statues at the Rupadhatu level. At the Arupadhatu level, or the 3 circular platforms, Buddha statues are placed inside perforated stupas. The first circular platform has 32 stupas, the second 24 and the third 16, which adds up to 72 stupas. Of the original 504 Buddha statues, over 300 are damaged, mostly headless, and 43 are missing. Since the monument's discovery, heads have been acquired or looted as collector's items, mostly by Western museums. Some of these Buddha heads are now displayed in numbers of museums, such as the Tropenmuseum in Amsterdam, Musée Guimet in Paris, and the British Museum in London. Germany has in 2014 returned its collection and funded their reattachment and further conservation of the site. At first glance, all the Buddha statues appear similar, but there is a subtle difference between them in the mudras, or the position of the hands. There are 5 groups of mudra: north, east, south, west and zenith, which represent the 5 cardinal compass points according to Mahayana. The first 4 balustrades have the first 4 mudras: north, east, south and west, of which the Buddha statues that face one compass direction have the corresponding mudra. Buddha statues at the 5th balustrades and inside the 72 stupas on the top platform have the same mudra, zenith. Each mudra represents one of the 5 dhyani Buddhas, each has its own symbolism. The aesthetic and technical mastery of Borobudur, and also its sheer size, has evoked the sense of grandeur and pride for Indonesians. Just like Angkor Wat for Cambodia, Borobudur has become a powerful symbol for Indonesia, to testify for its past greatness. Indonesia's first president Sukarno made a point of showing the site to foreign dignitaries. The Suharto regime realized its important symbolic and economic meanings, diligently embarked in a massive project to restore the monument with the help from UNESCO. Many museums in Indonesia contain a scale model replica of Borobudur. The monument has become almost an icon, grouped with the wayang puppet play and gamelan music into a vague classical Javanese past from which Indonesians are to draw inspiration. Several archaeological relics taken from Borobudur or its replica have been displayed in some museums in Indonesia and abroad. Other than Karmawibanga Museum within Borobudur Temple Ground, some museums boast to host relics of Borobudur, such as Indonesian National Museum in Jakarta, Tropenmuseum in Amsterdam, British Museum in London, and Thai National Museum in Bangkok. Louvre Museum in Paris, Malaysian National Museum in Kuala Lumpur, and Museum of World Religions in New Taipei also displayed the replica of Borobudur. The monument has drawn global attention to the classical Buddhist civilization of ancient Java. The rediscovery and reconstruction of Borobudur has been hailed by Indonesian Buddhists as the sign of the Buddhist revival in Indonesia. In 1934, Narada Thera, a missionary monk from Sri Lanka, visited Indonesia for the first time as part of his journey to spread the Dharma in Southeast Asia. This opportunity was used by a few local Buddhists to revive Buddhism in Indonesia. A Bodhi tree planting ceremony was held in southeastern side of Borobudur on the 10th of March 1934 under the blessing of Narada Thera, and some Upasakas were ordained as monks. Once a year, thousands of Buddhists from Indonesia and neighboring countries flock to Borobudur to commemorate National Waisak celebration. The emblem of Central Java Province and Magelang Regency bears the image of Borobudur. It has become the symbol of Central Java, and also Indonesia on a wider scale. Borobudur has become the name of several establishments, such as Borobudur University, Borobudur Hotel in central Jakarta, and several Indonesian restaurants abroad. Borobudur has appeared on rupiah banknotes and stamps and in numbers of books, publications, documentaries and Indonesian tourism promotion materials. The monument has become one of the main tourism attraction in Indonesia, vital for generating local economy in the region surrounding the temple. The tourism sector of the city of Yogyakarta, for example, flourishes partly because of its proximity to Borobudur and Prambanan temples. There are no known records of construction or the intended purpose of Borobudur. The duration of construction has been estimated by comparison of carved reliefs on the temple's hidden foot and the inscriptions commonly used in royal charters during the 8th and 9th centuries. Borobudur was likely founded around 800 AD. This corresponds to the period between 760 and 830 AD, the peak of the Sailendra dynasty rule over the Mataram kingdom in central Java, when their power encompassed not only the Srivijayan Empire but also southern Thailand, Indianized kingdoms of Philippines, North Malaya, Kedah, also known in Indian texts as the ancient Hindu state of Kadaram. The construction has been estimated to have taken 75 years with completion during the reign of Samaratunga in 825. There is uncertainty about Hindu and Buddhist rulers in Java around that time. The Sailendras were known as ardent followers of Buddhism, though stone inscriptions found at Sojomerto also suggest they may have been Hindus. It was during this time that many Hindu and Buddhist monuments were built on the plains and mountains around the Kedu Plain. The Buddhist monuments, including Borobudur, were erected around the same period as the Hindu Shiva Prambanan temple compound. In 732 AD, the Shivate king Sanjaya commissioned a Shivalinga sanctuary to be built on the Wukir hill, only 10 kilometers (6.2 miles) east of Borobudur. Construction of Buddhist temples, including Borobudur, at that time was possible because Sanjaya's immediate successor, Rakai Panangkaran, granted his permission to the Buddhist followers to build such temples. In fact, to show his respect, Panangkaran gave the village of Kalasan to the Buddhist community, as is written in the Kalasan Charter dated 778 AD. This has led some archaeologists to believe that there was never serious conflict concerning religion in Java, as it was possible for a Hindu king to patronize the establishment of a Buddhist monument, or for a Buddhist king to act likewise. The 856 battle on the Ratubaka Plateau was much after and was a political battle. There was a climate of peaceful coexistence where Sailendra involvement exists in Lara Jongrang.